Good to see you.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Tima. Yes.
Joe Domino, nice to meet you. Where are you located?
I'm in Brooklyn right now.
Okay, right on. Cool. Well, hey, man, it's great to meet you, and I'm looking forward to getting into the new album and your life and music. But before we get to that, the pandemic really did its thing on the music community. How did you survive the last 3.5 years or so, and how has it changed you?
Oh, pandemic. It already feels like it's been a while ago.
Yeah, right.
Uh, so much stuff has been going on since. Uh, I would say I clearly remember how it affected me in the beginning of it. But so 2020, at that time I was living in London, and it was kind of a time when I started to finally get some gigs on a regular basis, and that is around March 2020, and around that time yeah, the pandemic hit, it all had to stop. But at the same time, I remember how I was able to use this time uh, in order to just get in touch with certain aspects of playing that I wasn't able to do earlier, and uh, I even was able to I remember I had a pizza box at home. I didn't have a drum set at home, and at that time I was still finishing my degree, and we were had to do a bunch of recordings, and I just had a phone and a pizza box, and I would record, and I would play brushes in it, and a lot of people for all those remote recordings I was asked to do, no one could tell the difference if it's a real snare drum. But then, yeah, that was the beginning, and then I moved to New York, kind of in the middle of the pandemic, in January 2021. But since at that time I was doing my master's at NYU, it was kind of on a hybrid mode. There was no gigs obviously until July 2021. But this first few months I was still like, was able to play and meet people. It was slower than it would have been. But I would say as a musician, I feel it's very vital to play with other people. And this kind of a break, it did happen. But starting from the end of 2021, I was fortunate enough to be playing regularly. Yeah.
So talk to me a little bit about Jubilee. How does it feel to have a new album out? What went into this album?
Yeah, here it is.
Yes.
Yeah, it's gonna come out in 2 days from now already. This Friday. Still haven't unpacked it. I hope the CD is in there. Uh, Man, it's been an adventure, and I'm genuinely excited that it's gonna finally be out. Uh, I guess the story behind it is that I moved to New York. I guess the story behind this album started when I moved here. I was still doing my master's at NYU, and I started to trying to get in touch with what has been influencing me as a musician when I was just starting out years ago. And Billy Drews, who I used to study back then with, yeah, gave me an assignment to go over my record collection and try to find something uh, that got me into this music in the first place. And it was one of the hardest assignments I got in my life. But this is what made me go way back and rediscover my influences, my idols. And this is how I realized how much importance Paul Motion had to me as an influence. And starting from there, I started writing my thesis on him. I started interviewing people who used to play with him. And this is how I met half of the band who played on my album. That's how I met Jerome Harris. That's how I met Brad Chapik. Brad, I also got a chance to study with Dreamer Masters. And it kind of, yeah, made me think about what were about the stuff that's important and essential to my sound. So that started back then at early 2022, at late 2021, and then we got a chance to yeah, the war in Ukraine happened, and then I started to reach out to people who I felt um, uh, were concerned about it, and we got a chance to play a concert, which a benefit concert, which turned out to be an amazing night, both on a human level and musically. And this was pretty much the band that played on my album. Was apart from the piano player Sora Kim, who wasn't on the album, but she's going to be on the album release show that we're gonna play end of next month. And then getting ready for the session itself, I started getting into writing more and arranging more, and just writing original music, but also thinking how I can take motifs and melodies that were somehow stuck with me. Somehow I was hearing those melodies. This could be a Brazilian melody or classical melody or jazz standard. I was just trying to connect with them and then see where I can take them, and I spent a few months writing, and then we went straight to the bunker, and it was a special one for me. Yeah.
So what are you hoping the listener gets from this album?
uh, let me think 1 second.
Sure.
First thing that comes to mind is the first thing that comes to mind is the hmm, 1 second. I would think about this album as a journey, and as a series of compositions that have some sort of an arc and a story to me, and each tune is a story by itself. But for this record specifically, I'm hoping that whoever listens to it experiences. There is no one consistent theme or sound, or it's a ballad album, or it's an album that has a contrasting jazz styles or feels. But to me, this album is just is something that takes influences from different things,
Yeah.
and then still, like, there is an overlaying arch or of emotions that's important to me, and I just hope that someone uh, will experience those kind of emotions. Yeah.
So talk to me a little bit about where you were born and raised and how the jazz became a part of your life.
So I was born and raised in Russia, in Moscow. I was playing music from when I was a kid, from 11 years old. Uh, it wasn't jazz though. I remember my brother was putting together a metal band. He's 7 years older than me, and then he just needed a drummer, so he gave me a pair of sticks for my 11th birthday, and then that's how it started. But I was far from jazz music most of my teenage years, and only later on, when I discovered that I already uh, that I'm already reaching my 20s, and I'm still playing. My teacher at the time started to make was trying to just to slightly hint that there are other kinds of music out there, and I remember I was still in my late teens, and I thought Miles Davis was a drummer because he said you should check out Miles Davis. I thought, okay, my teacher is a drummer, so he would probably recommend me drummers. So, but then I once decided to do music professionally, and I moved to London. That's where I really started uh, to check out the jazz music, and what's been, as I said, for me, the first sound was, I would say, the sound of Keith Jarrett Trio and Pull Motion, uh, ECM sound, whatever that means, and then once I started to start to get into it, I started to try to figure out where it's coming from, and then I discovered Train and Bird and the rest. So it was, I would say, moving to London and when I started to really play with people on a regular basis. It was 2017. That's where I really got into playing and learning and discovering this music.
What was the first live jazz show you saw that blew you away?
First jazz show that I saw, uh, it was 2017 North Sea Jazz Festival, and there's been a lot of shows. I remember seeing Wayne Shorter with Wayne Shorter Quartet. Brian Blade was on drums. Uh, I think I will never forget this show.
Yeah.
It's yeah. This is the first. I guess it's the first impression of a live concert that's stuck with me. Yeah.
Have you seen the documentary on Wayne?
And the new one that came out, not yet.
Oh, you have to. It's so
Yeah,
good. Yeah,
yeah.
it's really good. So, you've been at this for a while, you've come to America to explore and grow. What do you like the best about being a professional musician? What is it that motivates you every day?
Uh, Opportunity to me, this art form is about connecting with other people, and here in New York, the jazz scene is so broad and versatile, and I'm just getting inspired by the number of just extraordinary human beings that I got a chance to meet over the past almost 3 years that I've been living here, and the way people are open-minded, and the way how many different directions you can go playing this music, how many sub scenes you can discover here, and just the idea of uh, people having their own voice and being able to meet people in this special way. That I guess this is something that keeps inspiring me every day.
So you came to this music later in life. You clearly love it. It's your profession, it's your passion. So why do you love jazz?
Uh, I love jazz because it allows to me it's allows you to connect. It's a personal journey where you discover what's been done before and connect to the tradition. And at the same time, one of the most beautiful things to me is that the more at least for me, the more you dedicate it to studying what's been done before you, and if you remain genuine, honest with yourself, the more you end up sounding like yourself. And uh, and I think that it also has an amazing balance of individuality and community, uh, and it's a special kind of connection where you can uh, be really yourself, but also uh, just never don't feel not feel lonely, and in the sense that it's not just your own journey. It's something that it's about creating something together. It's about not it's about the music you play, but also what you create. If you're playing a show, what kind of air you create in the room, what kind of vibrations. I think it's very beautiful.
So everyone has a perception of you, family, friends, fans, those that you play with, other musicians, but you ultimately run the show. What's your perception of you? Who do you think you are?
Uh, I think I'm an artist. I'm always learning, and I will always carry on learning. Uh, I'm I'm someone who gets people together, and that's said as an important part to me. Uh, and I'm someone um, who keeps exploring. Um, it sounds abstract, but I'm someone who tries to stay open-minded and at the same time disciplined about my craft and my art.
So, do you have any plans for the release day for the album?
Uh, yes, for the not so much for the day itself, but more for the following for the next month. As I mentioned before, we're going to be playing an album release show at Nublu in New York, and that's the one I'm really looking forward to. The man is very special, and this venue is very special to me too. So very excited to bring this music there, and I'm right now I'm in the mode of shedding my own music, and
Right on.
getting ready for it. Yeah.
So Jubilee's the brand new album coming out on December 1. If anyone wants to pick it up, learn more about you, anything about your world, where's the best place to go?
Sorry, I didn't hear the last one. Sorry.
So if anyone wants to reach out, learn more about you, pick up the album, where's the best place for them on the web to go?
There is my Instagram page. I have a website going on. Feel free to reach me out and get pre-order the album and come to the show if you're in New York.
Excellent. Hey, Tima, thank you so much for your story, for your time, for talking about it. Best of luck with the album and everything. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Joe.
You bet.